On the hour, rugbyleague.com news. Brought to you by Thomson Reuters, the global leader for news.
Two Saturday Super League games, and it was two of the most disappointing clubs of the season who went down at home in front of their own fans. At Warrington, it was only the second win of the year for Huddersfield, 24-16, and the match was marred by an eye-gouging allegation against the Giants' Tane Milne in the first half, but it was probably the worst defeat of the year for Sam Burgess's men and leaves them with little chance of making the finals. Across the channel, it was Catalans who attempting to arrest their slide after a shocking flogging the previous week, and they just weren't good enough against Leigh, going down 26-12. At the Halliwell Jones Stadium, this is Steve Mascord for rugbyleague.com. Now with the rest of today's news, here's Jason Costigan.
Thanks, Steve. Well, what a finish it was to Super Saturday in the NRL, with Melbourne winning in Golden Point against South Sydney after wins to Penrith and Newcastle in their respective matches. At a core stadium between Souths and Melbourne, the Storm won 25-24 thanks to a Golden Point drop goal off the boot of Ryan Pappenhausen. That was after Melbourne led 12-0 after just 7 minutes, and then 12-4 at halftime before a Rabbitohs comeback. Earlier, an understrength Panthers got the chocolates in Auckland against the Warriors, 28-18, after the visitors led 8-6 at halftime. And in the West, just 3 days after they hosted Origin 2, another surprise result with Newcastle beating the Dolphins 26-20 after the Knights led 16-10 at halftime. In New South Wales Cup action, the Warriors made it 10 straight victories with a 32-16 win over Penrith. The Dragons beat the Magpies 38-18, the Doggies 30-18 over the Raiders, and Souths winning 24-22 against Manly. In the Queensland Cup, the Northern Pride won at Toowoomba 40-14 over the Clydesdales. The Jets on the Gold Coast against Burleigh, where the Bears prevailed 30-18. The Dolphins defeated Tweed 24-16 at Redcliffe. Winner Manly cleaned up on the Sunshine Coast 46-18. And Norths in Townsville, where the Blackhawks won 24-16 to assume top spot on the table. And in the Ron Massey Cup, after getting released by Parramatta, former NRL player Bryce Cartwright played second row for St Mary's, his old club, as they beat Penrith Brothers 32-18. And finally, in Country Rugby League, the Longreach Ilfracombe Tigers, they won 26-22 at Blackall. So the defending premiers in the central west of Queensland are now finished for the season. The Tigers through to the grand final against minor premiers Barcaldine. That'll be played next Saturday, with the Sandgoannas hosting the season finale. And finally, the focus in the bush right now, the Mount Isa grand final between Townies and Wanderers. You can hear all the action plus our pre-game show from Alec Inch Oval, live and free here on rugbyleague.com from 2 p.m. local time on Sunday. That's 5 a.m. UK time. Yours truly calling the action from the radio capital, and I can't wait. Jason Costigan reporting for rugbyleague.com.